I know that Chelsea's biggest loss at the end of this just concluded season will not be missing out, from the Champions League or other European competitions. I knew that their biggest problem would be convincing these top players to remain at Chelsea for another season. I knew that Enzo Fernandes was going to leave. As a matter of fact, he made it clear right from the day that Chelsea was defeated by PSG. I also knew that the likes of Cucurella might decide to go as well, but I wasn't sure about Cucurella because I believe that with the appointment of a top manager like Xabi Alonso, that he may reconsider his decision. But as it stands, Cucurella has left before Enzo Fernandes and he has joined Real Madrid. The next player in line to leave Chelsea is Enzo Fernandes. There are other players that Chelsea would want to offload, like Delap, like Azel Disasi, like Bernard Bodiashile, and the rest of them. Those players that contributed next to nothing to this team last season, Chelsea would want to ultimately have them shipped out. And it is the money they realize from these players, from disposing these players, that is going to be given to Xabi Alonso to go into the market and get their replacement. First, what they will have to do is to get the players back. What is holding Chelsea from even performing any kind of activity in the transfer market is the fact that World Cup is currently ongoing. So what they want to do is wait until after the World Cup. Let all the players return back, to Chelsea, especially those on loan. Chelsea will be expecting back to the team the likes of Satpaev, Nicola Jackson, Giovanni Quenda, Mike Penders, who is currently between the stake for Belgium at the World Cup, Emmanuel Emeja, Aaron Anselmino, and the rest of them. Every of these players are going to return back to Chelsea. And manager Xabi Alonso is going to assess them during the preseason. So if Chelsea manages to, put out, these players that do not want to stay, because manager Xabi Alonso has made it clear internally that he would not keep any unhappy player. If he wants to leave, come to me and tell me you want to leave, then it will be facilitated. So Chelsea will be hoping that they make sales as early as possible so that they will have enough, fortune at hand to be able to go into the market to sign players, because that is the only way Chelsea can sign players that Chelsea do not have enough money to spend, considering their difficult financial situation. Xabi Alonso, the manager, was already aware of the situation at Chelsea. In fact, everything was disclosed to him before he signed for the club. In fact, it was Chelsea's transparency that made him accept the job in the first place. Chelsea agreed to collaborate with him in terms of identifying players and signing them. Chelsea also agreed to let him have authority, in deciding who goes and who stays in the team. So, on the part of Chelsea management and that of Xabi Alonso, there will be collaboration. But financially, on the part of Chelsea do not have, enough cash to spend, except as in the case of Marco Cucurella, they managed to make more sales, getting rid of players that do not want to stay for another season, and of using the money realized from those players' sales to bring in new players. So this is just the situation at Chelsea. My prayer remains that let it be the likes of Marco Cucurella and of course Enzo Fernandes, players we already know that have decided to leave, that will be leaving. Let more players don't decide to leave. The likes of Caicedo, the likes of Kopama, and the rest of them. At least we can work with those ones. The new manager Xabi Alonso can work with those players. While bringing in new players, to partner with what's already at Chelsea in order to continue to drive the club forward. So, if you are a Chelsea fan and you're expecting that Chelsea are going to make a Mbappe signing this very transfer window, please lower your expectation. That's not going to happen. However, Chelsea are going to, be more proactive in terms of, scanning the market, in terms of identifying players and bringing them in terms of, letting players that only deserve to be at Chelsea to be at Chelsea. So that is what is going to be different this time around. And manager Xabi Alonso, unlike the previous managers before him, is going to be totally in charge of this very situation.